Zuikaku was a Shokaku-class aircraft carrier of the Imperial Japanese Navy. Her complement of aircraft took part in the attack on Pearl Harbor that formally brought the United States into the Pacific War, and she fought in several of the most important naval battles of the war, before being sunk during the Battle of Leyte Gulf. One of 6 carriers to participate in the Pearl Harbor attack, Zuikaku was the last of the 6 to be sunk in the war. Service history. In 1941, Zuikaku, under the command of Captain Yoko Kawaichibe, and her sister ship Shokaku comprised Carrier Division 5. On 26 November 1941, she left Itokapu Bay for the attack on Pearl Harbor as part of the Kido Butai. Her aircraft complement consisted of 15 Mitsubishi A-6M fighters, 27 IGD-3A dive bombers, and 27 Nakajima B-5N torpedo bombers. On 7 December, she launched 2 waves of aircraft against American military installations on the island of Oahu. In the first wave, 25 dive bombers attacked Wheeler Army Airfield and 5 fighters attacked the airbase at Kaneohe. In the second wave, 27 torpedo bombers, armed with bombs, attacked the airbase at Hickam Field, and 17 dive bombers targeted the battleships California and Maryland on Battleship Row at Pearl Harbor. California later sank, while Maryland escaped Pearl Harbor with moderate damage. Zuikaku's aircraft also attacked the Australian bases at Rabaul on 20 January 1942 and Lae in New Guinea on 21 January. In April 1942, she took part in the Indian Ocean Raid, striking the British naval bases at Colombo and Trincomalee on Ceylon, and sinking the Royal Navy aircraft carrier HMS Hermes and the heavy cruisers HMS Cornwall and Dorsetshire, also with the help of Shokaku. Battle of the Coral Sea. In May 1942, she was assigned along with Shokaku to support Operation Mo, the invasion of Port Moresby, New Guinea. Alerted by intercepted and decrypted Japanese naval messages, the Americans dispatched the carriers US Yorktown and Lexington to stop this operation. On 8 May 1942, during the Battle of the Coral Sea, the main carrier forces located one another and launched maximum effort raids, which passed each other in the air. Hidden by a rain squall, Zuikaku escaped detection, but Shokaku was hit 3 times by bombs and was unable to launch or recover her aircraft. In return, torpedo and dive bombers from both ships hit Lexington, which was later scuttled by torpedoes from an escorting destroyer. Zuikaku was undamaged in the battle, but sustained severe losses in aircraft and aircrew. This required her to return to Japan with her sister ship for resupply and aircrew training, and neither carrier was able to take part in the Battle of Midway in June 1942. Battle for Guadalcanal in August 1942, commanded by Captain Tamataru Notomo. Zuikaku was dispatched as part of Carrier Division 1 along with the repaired Shokaku and the light carrier Zuiho to oppose the American offensive in the Solomon Islands. On 24 August 1942, in the Battle of the Eastern Solomons, her aircraft severely damaged the carrier US Enterprise. She was based at Truk for the next few months. On 26 October 1942, in the Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands, her aircraft again damaged the repaired Enterprise, and crippled US Hornet. However, Shokaku and Zuiho were both severely damaged by American air attacks, and Zuikaku had to recover their surviving aircraft in addition to her own. Of the 110 aircraft launched by the 3 Japanese carriers, only 67 returned to Zuikaku. She then returned to the home islands via Truk for training and aircraft ferrying duties. In February 1943, she covered the evacuation of Japanese ground forces from Guadalcanal. In May, she was assigned to a mission to counterattack the American offensive in the Aleutian Islands. but this operation was cancelled after the Allied victory on Attu on 29 May 1943. Later in 1943, under the command of Captain Kikuchi Tomozo, she was again based at Truk and operated against U.S. forces in the Marshall Islands. Battle of the Philippine Sea in 1944, she was based at Singapore. In June, she was assigned to Operation Ago, an attempt to repulse the Allied invasion of the Mariana Islands. On 19 June, in the Battle of the Philippine Sea, Taiho and Shokaku were both sunk by American submarines, leaving Zuikaku, the only survivor of Carrier Division 1, to recover the division's few remaining aircraft. On 20 June, a bomb hit started a fire in the hangar, but Zuikaku's experienced damage control teams managed to get it under control, and she was able to escape under her own power. After this battle, Zuikaku was the only survivor of the 6 fleet carriers that had launched the attack on Pearl Harbor. Battle of Cape Engano in October 1944, she was the flagship of Admiral Jisaburo Ozawa's decoy northern force in Operation Shogo 1. The Japanese counterattacked the Allied landings on Leyte. On 24 October, as part of 3rd Carrier Division, she launched aircraft along with the light carriers Zuiho, Chitos, and Chiyoda in an ineffective strike against the U.S. 3rd Fleet. Several of these aircraft were shot down, and the majority of the surviving aircraft did not return to the carriers, instead landing at Japanese land bases on Luzon. However, some of her aircraft made kamikaze attacks and helped sink the light carrier US Princeton, and most of the others were sent to other surviving carriers and air bases, to later sink the escort carrier US Street Low during the Battle of Sama after again using the new kamikaze tactics. The next day, during the Battle of Cape Engano, she launched her few remaining aircraft for combat air patrol, search, or to join the aircraft already on Luzon. She then came under heavy air attack and was hit by 7 torpedoes and 9 bombs. With Zuikaku listing heavily to port, Ozawa shifted his flag to the light cruiser Odo. The order to abandon ship was issued at 13:58 and the naval ensign was lowered. Zuikaku rolled over and sank stern first at 14:14, taking the lives of Rear Admiral Kaizuka Takeo and 842 of the ship's crew. 862 officers and men were rescued by the destroyers Wakatsuki and Kyoei. Gallery. Sailors winching up the anchor on the quarterdeck of Zuikaku, 26 November 1941. Nakajima B5N2, Kate, taking off Zuikaku to attack Pearl Harbor, 7 December 1941. Zuikaku during the Battle off Cape Engano, 25 October 1944. The crew of the sinking Zuikaku salute as the flag is lowered on 25 October 1944. Bibliography. Brown, David. World War II Fact Files. Aircraft Carriers. New York. Arco Publishing. ISBN 0-668-04164-1. Brown, D. Carrier Operations in World War II. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 978-1-59114-108-2. Campbell, John. Naval Weapons of World War II. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 0-87021-459-4. Chesno, Roger. Aircraft Carriers of the World, 1914 to the Present. An Illustrated Encyclopedia. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 0-87021-902-2. Dixon, David. Fighting Flat Tops. The Shokaku. Warship International 14. 15-46. Jill. Herman. Volume 2, Royal Australian Navy, 1942-1945. Australia in the War of 1939-1945, Series 2. Navy. Canberra. Australian War Memorial. Gentura, Hans George, Young, Dieter and Mickle, Peter. Warships of the Imperial Japanese Navy, 1869–1945. Annapolis, Maryland. United States Naval Institute. ISBN 0-87021-893-X. Lengerer, Hans. The Aircraft Carriers of the Shokaku Class. In Jordan, John. Warship 2015. London. Conway. pp. 90–109. ISBN 978184486-276-4. Letourneau, Robert and Letourneau, Dennis. Operation KE. The Cactus Air Force and the Japanese Withdrawal from Guadalcanal. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 978161251-179-5. Lundstrom, John B. The First Team. Pacific Naval Air Combat from Pearl Harbor to Midway. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 1-59114-471-X. Lundstrom, John B. The First Team and the Guadalcanal Campaign. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 1-55750-526-8. Pt. Mark. Sunburst. The Rise of Japanese Naval Air Power 1909–1941. Annapolis, Maryland. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 1-55750-432-6. Polmar, Norman and Gender, Minoru. Aircraft Carriers. A History of Carrier Aviation and Its Influence on World Events. Volume 1, 1909–1945. Washington, D.C. Potomac Books. ISBN 1-57488-663-0. Shores, Christopher, Cull, Brian and Izawa, Yasuho. Bloody Shambles. The Drift Toward to the Fall of Singapore. London. Grub Street. ISBN 0-948817-50-X. Shores, Christopher, Cull, Brian and Izawa, Yasuho. Bloody Shambles. 2. The Defense of Sumatra to the Fall of Burma. London. Grub Street. ISBN 0-948817-67-4. Stiller, Mark. The Coral Sea 1942. The First Carrier Battle. Campaign 214. Oxford, UK. Osprey Publishing. ISBN 978184908-106-1. Stiller, Mark. Tora. Pearl Harbor 1941. Raid 26. Oxford, UK. Osprey Publishing. ISBN 978184908-509-0. Stiller, Mark. USN Carriers vs. IJN Carriers. The Pacific 1942. Dual 6. Oxford, UK. Osprey Publishing. ISBN 978184603-248-6. Tully, Anthony P. IJN Zuikaku. Tabular Record of Movement. Kido Butai. CombinedFleet.com. Retrieved 14 July 2015. Zim, Alan D. Attack on Pearl Harbor. Strategy, Combat, Myths, Deceptions. Havertown, Pennsylvania. Casemate Publishers. ISBN 978161200-010-7.